What's going on, y'all? Just another day of business as usual. So, it comes to my understanding, and I made the video about these two fools before, Young Thug and Gunna. At least two videos about these dudes. So it comes to my understanding that Gunna, all right, that had a role in these YSN and YSL gangs and so forth. Okay, and he was released yesterday. Now, it's my understanding that this guy petitioned for parole like three times and was denied. And then he was let go yesterday. I was really shocked that they let him go. But it's my understanding that he said something, all right, to get let go. Now, it's a total of 28 people that still, 27 now, okay, now that he's been let go, including Young Thug, that has been indicted, for a lot of different things like murders, guns, drugs, all throughout the city of Atlanta. Okay, let me get to where I could get a little bit better light. Okay, that's better. Okay. Now, what do I want to say? I think that he's very lucky that he did not get like tried and convicted, because these guys, all right, are looking at 25 to life. Okay. Now I'm thinking for him to snitch, all right, snitch like a crow, that means somebody else is probably going to get it in that group. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I've done enough videos and I've studied enough. I wanted to get into law school, but I didn't have enough GI Bill to go to the law school here, like in Las Vegas. Okay, like William Boyd Law School. Passed the exam and everything. Barely passed it, but passed it. To let you know this, I've done, used to look at Law and Order and Forensic Files. I've known guys, three cousins that got killed dealing drugs. All right. And we've all either known somebody, all right, that is either dealt drugs or consumed drugs. Like, I think I know enough to tell you, tell a tale where all this gangster stuff, man, that's out. All right. Once in the late 80s, early 90s, they started coming out with mandatory 25 to life, okay, for crimes that are drug related, okay. They started seizing stuff, all right, that they feel that was bought from drugs, okay, accounts, offshore accounts. In the early 90s, when they came out with that 3 strikes rule, it was time to do something else. So that ended 30, 35 years ago. But my thing is that's out. My thing is this, though. Maybe in my day, all right, or maybe before that, people, if you was involved with some type of criminal activity, all right, the goal was trying to find something legit, okay? Now, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but some people did, all right, set their money aside, or then they found something else to do, and the people that got caught were probably in the business too long, okay? But why are these dudes have worked so hard to get to where they are, okay? And they're not just the only ones, these two gangs and Young Thug, all right? There's others out there, all right? You know who they are. Why would they use the money that they work so hard for that satanic music anyway, and do just the opposite? It doesn't make any sense, okay? And you also have to look at it like this. You see, because I thought it was unfair that Young Thug and Gunna got denied, but they wanted them to say something. They were trying to get those guys off the streets because that group was too large. Those guys, okay, whoever was involved, all right, I can't say who, all right, was in charge of too many people, all right, and somebody had to be accounted for, all right. There were too many mothers crying, all right, for justice and so forth. How many complaints or mothers are going to cry, okay, for their sons and daughters' lives, children, and they're not going to do anything out in Atlanta? I mean, it's got to a point where I spoke to people about this matter, okay, out here in my car, in my van or my truck. All right, this stuff was going on up in Buckhead, okay, the Cascades, Noon in Georgia, okay, where they got a lot of money invested in them houses. Smyrna, okay, up in the burbs of Georgia, okay. So they were gonna do what they had to do to keep this from spreading. Now, yeah, okay, I know there was other groups out there too. They're probably like white groups and so forth, but a lot of the crime, okay, in which they say things went up like 40%, crime and drugs and all that stuff, were thought to be from these two particular groups. Okay? And Gunna, when I said this before, when they got you by the short hairs, and when you are for time, okay, then somebody's gonna break. And even if they do, all right, get off that case, let's say Young Thug, all right, because he's gonna be pretty much the star. What is it? The star sailing. In the end of the day, his conditions are gonna be pretty crappy, but they're gonna get stripped down to nothing. All right, because they wanted to find out who did it, round everybody up, okay, that was vulnerable, question people, all right, involvement, how much stake that they had in it, okay, and so forth. And I'm pretty sure not only the courts got end up getting their tax money, but probably the families. Although I think that the courts really don't give a damn about the families or whatever. Okay, but I'm pretty sure that there were some type of restitutions and so forth, though. All right, but those guys are going to get a little bit of time to get a little taste of what jail is. I understand that they've never been to jail before, and they're going to get stripped down to nothing. Okay, and they ain't got nothing to do with no powers that be. All right, that's an accountability issue. Okay, something that they did for to themselves. All right, where all they had to do is make their money, do what they got to do, and move on. So that's on them. All right. So no sympathy from me whatsoever. All right. So that's just my assessment with Gunna. They made him squeal. Okay, stripped him down to nothing, and they let him go, just like I had predicted. But at least he gets to go home to his family. All right. I pray he didn't get turned out. You know what I'm saying? But if you love your freedom, like me, I went through, I went through a lot. Went to wars and all that different stuff or whatever. Had some brushes, with the law when I was early in my life. Okay. But when you like that type of stuff, when you have children, okay, some of you guys, all right, when you want to be around the comfort of a lady, okay, or ladies, all right, then you're going to do what you have to do to avoid it. All right. Just do what you got to do, period. It's not even worth it. Crime does not pay. Well, let me know what you think about the video here. I'm not going to talk any further. All right, peace.